There is someone in your life right now who is watching you more carefully than you know, not out of admiration, not out of love, but out of something darker, something they would never admit to your face: envy. It is one of the oldest and most destructive forces in human nature, and the Stoics understood it better than almost any other philosophy in history, because they lived in a world where envy could get you exiled, poisoned, or destroyed. Marcus Aurelius dealt with it from senators who wanted his throne. Seneca dealt with it from an emperor who eventually ordered his death. Epictetus, even as a slave, was not immune to the envy of those around him. And what they learned about envy, how it works, how it hides, and how to protect yourself from it, is as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. In this video, I am going to share with you 13 signs that someone is secretly envying you. Not to make you paranoid, but to make you aware. Because the Stoics believed that clear seeing is the foundation of wise living. Write in the comments right now, "I see clearly." Make that commitment before this video ends. Sign 1. They celebrate your failures more than your successes. Pay attention to how people respond when things go wrong for you. The person who genuinely cares about you feels your pain when you fail. They do not rush to remind you of it. They do not bring it up repeatedly in conversation. They do not share the news of your setback with a barely concealed smile. The envious person does all of these things. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we can always tell more about a person's character by how they respond to someone else's misfortune than by how they respond to their own. Because in moments of others' failure, the mask slips. If someone in your life seems oddly energized by your struggles, oddly talkative about your failures, oddly quick to remind others of your mistakes, that energy has a name, and it is not concern. It is relief. The relief of someone who is quietly afraid you are doing better than them. Sign 2. They give you backhanded compliments. A backhanded compliment is envy wearing the costume of kindness. You know the kind. You look great, considering everything you've been through. That was really good for someone with your background. I did not expect you to pull that off. Wow, you actually did it. These are not compliments. They are small corrections. Tiny attempts to reframe your success in a way that diminishes it, to make sure you know that your achievement comes with an asterisk. Epictetus taught that words reveal the inner state of the person speaking them, and the person who cannot offer a clean, genuine compliment without attaching a qualifier is someone who is struggling to fully accept your success. You do not need to confront them. You do not even need to acknowledge it. Simply note it, file it, and adjust how much of your inner life you share with that person. Sign 3. They downplay your achievements in front of others. There is a difference between someone who minimizes your achievements in private and someone who does it in public. The public minimization is more telling because it requires an audience. It requires witnesses to the moment when your success is made smaller. Oh, that project was not that big a deal. He just got lucky with the timing. She had a lot of help. It is not as impressive as it sounds. These comments are never accidental. They are strategic. They are attempts to manage the perception of others, to make sure that your success does not elevate you too far above the person speaking. Seneca wrote that the person who cannot celebrate another's success without diminishing it is someone who sees life as a competition with a fixed number of winners, who believes that your gain is their loss. The Stoic response is simple: continue, excel. Let your work speak in a language that no one can quietly correct. Sign 4. They copy you after criticizing you. This one is particularly revealing. First, they tell you that your idea will not work, that your approach is wrong, that what you are doing is misguided or naive or unlikely to succeed. They offer their criticism freely, sometimes repeatedly, and then, quietly, they do exactly what you were doing. They adopt your style. They pursue your idea. They follow the path they told you was a mistake. This pattern is the fingerprint of envy. Because genuine disagreement leads to genuine alternatives. If someone truly thought your approach was wrong, they would not copy it. They would pursue something better. But the envious person is not offering genuine criticism. They are managing the distance between you and them, trying to slow you down, discourage you, or keep you uncertain, while quietly noting that what you're doing has merit. Marcus Aurelius had a word for this kind of person. He called them instructive, because they show you, through their behavior, exactly what they think of your potential. Sign 5. They are strangely absent during your successes. Notice who disappears when things are going well for you. They are present when you need help, when you are struggling, when you are uncertain. They show up readily in your difficult moments, partly because your difficulty is comfortable for them. It confirms the version of you they prefer. But when you succeed, when the project lands, when the relationship works, when the thing you are building finally stands on its own, some people become inexplicably busy. They forget to reach out. They have very little to say. This absence is a form of withdrawal. The Stoics would recognize it immediately as a sign of someone who was invested in your struggle, not your growth. The people who love you genuinely are as present in your victories as they are in your defeats, often more so, because your joy genuinely gives them joy. Pay attention to who shows up on your best days. Sign 6. They question your motives constantly. Why are you really doing this? What are you trying to prove? Who are you doing this for? These questions, when they come repeatedly from the same person, are not genuine curiosity. They are seeds of doubt planted in the soil of your confidence. The envious person cannot simply accept that you are pursuing something because it matters to you, because that would require them to accept that you have clarity, purpose, and direction that they may be lacking. So they reframe your motivation. They suggest that what you are doing is driven by ego, by insecurity, by a need for validation. Not because they have evidence of this, but because it is a more comfortable story than the alternative. Epictetus taught that we must guard our ruling faculty, our inner judgment, from the invasive opinions of others, because the person who allows others to constantly question their motives will eventually begin to question them themselves. Know why you are doing what you are doing. Hold that knowledge quietly and let the questions pass through you without taking root. Sign 7. They give unsolicited warnings about your path. Be careful. I just do not want to see you get hurt. Are you sure about this? I have seen this go wrong before. There is a version of these words that comes from genuine love and concern. You will know it because it comes rarely, specifically, and from people who have earned the right to speak into your life. And then there is the version that comes too often, too broadly, and from people who have no particular knowledge or experience that would qualify them to warn you. That version is not concern. It is interference. The envious person is often drawn to your uncertainty. They arrive reliably when you are on the edge of something new, when you are considering a risk that could pay off significantly, and they offer their warnings with the language of care and the energy of sabotage. Seneca wrote that we must distinguish carefully between those who advise us because they want us to succeed and those who advise us because they prefer we do not. The distinction is usually visible in what happens when you succeed in spite of their warnings. The first kind is relieved and happy. The second is quiet and strange. Sign 8. They compete with everything you share. You mention something good that happened, they immediately have something better that happened to them. You share a difficulty you overcame. They have a harder difficulty they overcame. You talk about a goal you are pursuing. They are pursuing a bigger one. This constant one-upmanship is exhausting to experience and revealing to observe, because the person who is genuinely at peace with their own life does not need to outrank every story you tell. They can simply listen. They can simply celebrate with you. They can simply be present without needing to win the conversation. The competitive listener is someone who experiences your life as a threat to their own self-image. Every good thing you share is a data point they must neutralize or surpass. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the person who is in competition with everyone around them is in a prison of their own construction, because they can never simply enjoy anything. Everything must be ranked. Everything must be compared. Share less with this person, not out of spite, out of wisdom. Sign 9. They spread subtle rumors or doubts about you. This one is the most damaging and the hardest to see clearly because it operates below the surface. They do not say anything directly false. They simply ask questions. Did you hear about what happened with his last project? I am sure she had her reasons, but it seemed a little off to me. I do not know. Something about him just feels a bit much. These are not statements. They are suggestions, carefully planted in the minds of people around you, designed not to destroy your reputation outright, but to create a subtle shadow over it. The Stoics called this kind of person a spreader of smoke, because they never quite start a fire. They just make the air a little harder to breathe. The best response to this is the one Marcus Aurelius returned to again and again in his life. Your actions over time are the only reputation that matters. The person who consistently does good work, treats people well, and lives with integrity does not need to defend themselves against smoke. The truth is its own defense. Continue, endure, excel. Sign 10. They are uncomfortable with your confidence. There is a particular kind of discomfort that envy creates in the presence of genuine confidence. When you walk into a room knowing who you are, when you speak without apologizing for your opinions, when you make decisions without seeking constant validation, some people become visibly unsettled. They may call it arrogance. They may suggest you have gotten too big for your boots. They may find subtle ways to remind you of your past failures or your current limitations. What they are responding to is not arrogance. It is the gap between your self-assurance and their own. And that gap is painful to be around when you have not yet done the inner work to close it in yourself. Epictetus taught that the person who is disturbed by another's confidence is someone who has placed their own self-worth in external comparison, who can only feel good about themselves when others seem uncertain. Your confidence is not the problem. Their relationship with their own is. Do not shrink. Do not apologize. Continue becoming exactly who you are. Sign 11. They remind you of your past constantly. Remember when you tried this before and it did not work? You used to be so different. What happened to the person you were back then? The person who is genuinely in your corner wants you to grow beyond your past. They celebrate your evolution. They support your becoming. The envious person is uncomfortable with your growth because growth changes the dynamic between you. If you were once at the same level and now you are not, that difference is felt acutely by someone who measures their worth through comparison. So they anchor you to who you were. They reference old failures. They speak of your past self with a nostalgia that is really a wish that you had stayed there. Marcus Aurelius wrote that every morning is a new opportunity to be better than the day before. That growth is not betrayal of your past self, but fulfillment of your potential. Do not let anyone else's discomfort with your evolution slow it down. Sign 12. They seem drained by your good news. This one is subtle but unmistakable once you have seen it. You share something good, something you are genuinely excited about, and instead of the conversation becoming more energized, it becomes flat. The other person grows quiet, distracted, or suddenly needs to end the call. Your good news has drained them. Because good news from you requires them to feel something they find difficult, genuine happiness for you. And when that happiness is not available, the effort of pretending it becomes exhausting. Seneca wrote that we reveal ourselves most completely not in moments of crisis, but in moments of other people's joy, because joy requires us to step outside ourselves completely and celebrate something that has nothing to do with us. The person who cannot do that for you is someone whose world is still too centered on their own comparison with yours. Note it, adjust accordingly, and find people who light up when you do. Sign 13. Your growth makes them distance themselves. This is the final and, in many ways, the clearest sign. As you grow, as you change, as you become more of who you are capable of being, some people simply begin to fade from your life. They call less. They engage less. They become harder to reach. And if you pay attention, you will notice that this happens precisely in proportion to your growth. The more you evolve, the more distant they become. This is not always envy. Sometimes people simply grow in different directions, but when the distancing correlates directly with your upward movement, when they were present during struggle and absent during success, the pattern is telling you something. The Stoics believed that your circle should be chosen with the same deliberateness you bring to your most important decisions, because who you spend your time with determines, to a significant degree, who you become. Let the people who cannot celebrate your growth go gracefully, without bitterness, without judgment, without the need to explain or convince them. They were part of a chapter, not the whole book. And the people who belong in the next chapter are already waiting. If this video opened your eyes to something you needed to see, subscribe to ViaStoica. Every week, ancient wisdom to help you navigate the world more clearly. And write in the comments which of these 13 signs you recognized in someone around you. I read every comment. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, 2,000 years ago, still true today. See you on the path.